Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we're returning to Grand Tactician, the Civil War. This is part number 3 in my Let's Play series of the Summer of 1861 campaign. In our last episode, it was a little bit of a turn in transition. We were building some gunboats, we were trying to move some ships around. I think we found some bugs on the naval side, but we were also building out the Army of the West. In today's episode, we're going to be fighting our first major battle with the Western Army under Nathaniel Lyon. We've been engaged on the sort of western front, but we'll see how things play out in this battle. I'll step aside. This was taken from a stream from my channel from just the other day, so I'll step aside and let you guys enjoy the fight. Hope you guys enjoy. Let me know your thoughts below, and I'll catch you guys at the end. I don't like that Cairo's Confederate. That feels dumb to me. But I'm guessing I pulled, like, somehow ships miraculously transported from the East Coast, I'm guessing, some of those heavier frigates. How many troops are in the Missouri State Guard? 5,000, that's all? Versus 5,000 of my own troops? Ooh, claims we have 8,000. I don't think we do. I don't think those new troops have been raised yet. Not what I meant to do. I keep thinking that right button on the army is actually going to pop it out, but it doesn't. It just brings you to the next unit. Alright, I guess we'll fight the battle. It doesn't let me see the actual makeup of the troops, but I don't think they would have raised them in one day. So let's go ahead and fight the Missouri State Guard and see what Sterling Price is bringing against us. The Battle of Springfield, Missouri, July 13th, 1861. After the initial skirmishing and maneuvers, the opposing armies are ready or deploying for battle. Just have another Richmond J Street? I'd prefer not to. I don't want to kill all my troops. I'm not a monster. All right, we have 5,500 men under Nathaniel Lyon. The Confederates have 5,500 men under Major General Price. So this should be a relatively even fight. Deploy your forces. All right, so we're facing the Missouri State Guard under Sterling Price. They have about 8 guns. The enemy is green. Morale is reported to be eager. Supply state of the army is outstanding. Okay, we don't really need to take those hills. Where are our troops anyway? Is this accurate, though, in terms of the number of troops? Yeah. Confederates might have 1,500 cavalry, which could tip the balance here. That would give them a pretty big advantage in terms of manpower. All right, let's deploy our troops. Where am I? Ooh, I like the new headquarters icons there. So let's deploy our troops south. I want to put them in single line. Or 3 brigades. 3 brigades is hardly 2 divisions. That's pretty laughable. But in any event, we'll put them on this, what looks like a nice ridge here. Got some artillery up on this high ground. The artillery could probably be better positioned a little bit further left on Oak Hill, facing south. Wilson's Creek. So this is loading the Wilson's Creek battlefield. Okay, let's go ahead and end the deployment, and hopefully the enemy's going to come to me. Guessing they're coming on the map down there. Let's go ahead and fast forward things and see what happens here. This is actually some good terrain down here too, so let's move these troops just a little bit. We'll have these 2 troops on the crest of this hill up here, the artillery on Oak Hill North. We're moving super fast because we're in times 10 speed. No sign of the enemy as of yet. Looks like they've moved as far as this objective here. I'm going to wait, and hopefully they'll come to me. No kind of anti-cavalry formations. Not that I'm aware of, but the Union really, or fortification options. You know, cavalry is more of a fast infantry in the way it was used in the Civil War, or a scouting or screening force. It's not really like a... We shouldn't have to worry about them charging us or anything like that. Do I have cavalry? I didn't see having any cavalry. I don't think my army has any. We've just got these 3 infantry brigades and 1 battery of artillery. All right, so they've moved here to take this objective. The objectives are really just sort of teaching the AI how to fight. It's not really anything about, like, victory points or anything like that. They could use my passive tactics. I would, you know, they could, but we'll give it a little bit of time. We'll see if they come up on us. We'll give it a few moments. We don't need to rush into combat. We'll see if they move forward toward Edward. If they move forward on either Oak Hill objective or Edward over here, then I think we'll feel better that they're coming at us. But we'll have to give it, we'll give it till like 2 o'clock, I think. Just a few more moments. It is noon. This battle is unfolding slowly because I'm doing nothing. Well, they don't seem to be moving. Granted, the time compression doesn't seem to be doing much. It seems to be going pretty damn slow. Drill weekend. You know, guys, I would rather they come to me than me go to them. This is not the best terrain. Looks like a fair bit of open terrain, also a fair bit of wooded terrain. But hey, if you want me to go toward them, fine. We will. Let's march south and let's see what we can see. I'm going to leave this great defensive position, and I will be the aggressor here. I don't, you know, usually I defeat the enemy relatively easily, but I'm a little bit uneasy about this situation because the enemy is so evenly matched. Usually we've just, oh, see, now they're going for Oak Hill. See, I could have just sat back, waited till tomorrow, and then they would have attacked me. But now we're evacuating our position here, and the enemy's probably going to end up on our left. Just saying, if I lose, it's your fault. No potato peddler. There's no going back. It's too late for that. The Army of the West, once it gets moving, we don't retreat. Look, they took this other objective here in the east, too. I guess they could be spread out. They've only got 5,000 men, so it could be like, you know what we could do is we could put our backs to this river thing and just hold this hill here. Let them go right around my flank with this roadway here. March up this road here towards Skeg and then TB Manly. But we got a nice little hill we can refuse our flank on. I just saw something that said, oh no, that was my Army of the West. Never mind. Why can't I just send out skirmishers? That's a long way to send skirmishers out by themselves. The infantry units can form in skirmishers, yep. Scott Manley's grandpa's house. Yeah, maybe. All right, so Siegel is moving his troops forward here. Our troops are slowly forming up on this ridgeway. Ridgeway, that's not a word, is it? Looks like the hill in front of us is way higher in elevation. Oh, it definitely is. Gotham GK and Ferrari 2310, thank you for the follows. We're going to move up toward this house. I don't want to be at the bottom of the frickin' hill. Manassas 1125, thank you for the follow. Ridgeway. I know, it's Ridgeline. Just got Matthew Ridgeway on the brain, right? I'm using my infantry as skirmishers. It's Gettysburg all over again, boys. Passiveness of General Lyon, let the Confederates get all the important positions and surround our troops, as wrote the journalist. The fattest head, thank you very much for the follow there. All right, let's go take this objective. There's a nice fence line here. If they're not here, I can form up on this fence. Somehow I didn't take Edward. Don't really care. The objectives again are not the point of this game. It's about destroying the enemy. Wooden fences are pretty damn good cover, although the enemy would be in the woods, which would probably be better. Oh shit, they're coming in behind me. Boys, double back, boys. Let's engage them. Well, let's not engage them like that. Let's slow down here for a sec. Forgot the picnic baskets on the hill. Move back, my lads. Move back. Double time it back, boys. Reverse your march. Oh, do I still have them ordered down the... Oh, shit. Well, we're not going to do that. Don't double time. They still have the original order. I don't know how to undo the order. Halt! Oh, I did. There. Well, actually, this is good. Now we're on the high ground, and they're marching on the lower ridge. So let's just... Your rear is your front. Turn around, boys. Here they come. Did Lyons get surrounded? I can't remember. I don't think he did, historically. Oh, man. They've got a few brigades. Can you guys get into a better position here? All right. Make the enemy attack us up this steep hill. I'm fine with that. 3rd Division, 4th Division, 6th Division. How many divisions do they have? Oh boy. They're throwing, looks like they're throwing skirmishers across the creek here. Fortunately, I don't have any like baggage trains or anything like that I got to worry about. So I can just get my troops into position and let them fight. But we've actually got the elevation advantage big time here. So if we go ahead and we unpause or slow things down, they're going to have to come up a steep hill here against Sigel's 2nd Brigade. Meanwhile, my artillery here firing from good positions. The Missouri Light Artillery, their 6-pound field guns, should be able to do some good damage against the enemy if they try and come up. They're not going to turn my right. That's pretty much for sure. They could try and turn my left here. I've only got 1 brigade in this wood line. 1,000 divisions of 5 guys each. Yeah, you know, maybe. So are they just going to sit there and wait for me to come to them? I'd prefer if they attack me. We're just going to stare at each other for a bit. All right, let's... These guys are idle. Oh, shit, here they come. Here they come, boys. Can you guys not shoot at them at all? I thought I saw you fire around. They're going up my left. All right, I'm going to pivot them around that way. I'm going to move this brigade into Siegel's old position. Sidle my line leftwards. Although it doesn't look like we're going to get a chance to really do that. Halt and fire, boys. You're in cover and they're in the open. All right, there you go. Open fire. That might go around my flank. So my troops are shifting left. So let's extend that line. My artillery firing at anything? Fire at the damn guard. Alright, Seagal's troops are on the flank. They're a little bit exposed. Ooh, they're big time exposed. Big volleys going into Seagal. His troops are falling. 4th Brigade just moved up and is engaging the Rebs. Move the 1st Brigade forward here. Protect this artillery. The artillery is now engaged by the looks of it. We've got 47, 63, and 16 in terms of ammunition. I'm not sure what the breakout of solid versus other types of ammo is. According to these guys' flank, ideally with like solid. Or not. Are they maybe blocked? Could that be the issue? Doesn't seem like they're really shooting much. Alright, move forward, 1st Brigade. Seagal's gonna break. He's lost 120 men. The 4th Brigade is also nervous and ready to break. This battle's not going well. Moving the 1st Brigade forward here on what should be the enemy flank to support these guys. I want to tell them to fall back. Don't see a fallback order, though. Oh, they're broken. It's too late. Well, they broke my left flank. The 1st Brigade's now engaged. Have a good one, Idle. Jason Hodges, thank you for the follow as well. Alright, so we're engaged with the enemy. This is going to be a defeat in detail. My artillery's finally engaging. We're shooting apart the 7th Division pretty good here. Looks like some of my troops might not be shooting because they're blocked. I want them to fall back. Yeah, fall back to here. Okay, so they're going to fall back, hopefully to a better position where their flank is not as easily overlapped here by these new troops coming up through the woods. Their morale is nervous, but I'm hoping when they form up on the flank of the 1st Brigade, their morale will get better. 1st Brigade should have a clear line of sight at the enemy now. The artillery is now blocked. I wish they'd fire over the heads of the men, but they might be too close. So move the artillery over to the left here. Hopefully they can fire some canister into the enemy if they approach. Morale's still nervous, but they do have troops on their flank now. The 1st Brigade, meanwhile, looks to be fully engaged. Call in the A-10s, sir. God, I wish we had A-10s. Where's the holy hand grenade when you need it? All right, the 7th Division here of Missouri State Guards is getting shredded pretty good. I would expect them to retreat pretty soon. They're just falling like flies. The morale is now stable, or at least they're no longer nervous, they're now stable. Meanwhile, the artillery here on the flank, Missouri Light Artillery, firing at these troops up here now. These guys are just melting. Help, I'm melting! It's too bad my strongest brigade is not where the strongest enemy force is. Seagal, he's gone. He's broken and running away. Ironically, he's... Well, no, actually, he's retreating in the correct direction. All right, so the 7th Division's broken. The next brigade, though, of 1,200 men is moving forward here into our flank. I think they're going to be meleeing. They are. Meanwhile, my artillery is firing on these Confederate troops that are approaching in the woods. 16 guns. Oh, God, I wish I... This cursor, it does not move very well. You should be firing canister at those boys, shouldn't you? Meanwhile, apparently the 4th Brigade's now stabilized its own morale with driving off that 7th Division. Nice. We drove back this brigade. Routed them. It looks like right now the game is saying we have a minor defeat. We did have one of our brigades driven off, but we just drove the MSG Infantry Brigade back after meleeing here with our troops. And the 1st and 4th Brigades are fighting it out here now. The 4th MSG Division should have its flanks in trouble as well. We do have 2 brigades coming up over our rear. We're holding there for the moment with no losses for the light artillery here. These boys are firing at the Confederates that are laying down, but they're getting a brigade into our rear. Hopefully Lyons doesn't get himself killed. That would be realistic. Because he did. Now we must meet the Union Army track team. Ouch, P. Warner. The Confederate track team is doing some running too. Just saying. Maybe they're working on their Confederate flags, or their Confederate flags, which are in fact white flags, huh? Alright, the artillery is getting shot at now, it looks like, by these Confederates, but they haven't taken any losses yet. 4th Brigade is orange stable. The 1st Brigade, meanwhile, man, the 4th MSG Division here. They're losing a lot of men here. In the open, flanked, there they go. Broke another Confederate brigade. Meanwhile, the 7th Division here is just at the fringe of engagement range, I think. So we're gonna turn the 4th Brigade around and try and engage these Confederates on the hill before they wreck my artillery. Looks like the cover is doing wonders for us. I would like you to march over here. Looks like they're trying to close the gap with our artillery. We might lose all 16 guns here. Alright, well, if you're not going to at least move over there, then at least advance in front of these guns on the flank. Meanwhile, I want to move the 1st Brigade up here. Looks like the enemies... They do have some cavalry here on the other side of the river or the creek. That could pose a challenge. I don't like the idea of turning my infantry's reared enemy artillery either. But I need to try and drive these guys off. We just started taking some casualties here by our artillery. 4th Brigade is moving up. I think they're engaging now. The Rebs, however, have the wood line, so that's going to give them some advantage here. My infantry's moving up the hill now, so now we're reversing our position. We'll engage the 6th Missouri State Guards. If they're really only 600 men, we'll outnumber them with the 1st Brigade here by quite a few men. We've got 2,800 under Samuel Sturgis. The 4th Brigade, meanwhile, is engaging with these Rebs. The artillery's taken some casualties. These guys are retreating. So the battle has switched from a minor defeat early when Seagal was driven off the field to indecisive, but it's swinging in our favor. As we drive off more and more of these rebel units. It feels like casualties may mount in this game a little bit too quickly. I know obviously we're moving into like point-blank range, but these guys have fired off like 10 rounds of their muskets and have wrecked several brigades of enemy troops. These guys have fired off 6 rounds of their muskets. I think they started with 60 rounds. And again, they've done a lot of damage for not much expenditure of ammunition. Yeah, the 1st Brigade, I'd agree. I think they've earned a bonus. Maybe the Colonel Samuel Sturgis will get promoted. Meanwhile, we've driven the 3rd Brigade off, and I think they're routed, so I think that's going to change this battle to a victory for us. Pretty major victory. There you go. So these guys have been driven back. Nathaniel Lyons. The Confederates didn't... Nice. The enemy is retreating. Our commander reports the enemy seems to be retreating the field. Try to push them. Push on with the given time. All right. Let's charge down the hill. Everybody fix your bayonets. We're gonna oh, what's his name? Joseph Chamberlain it. These guys have pulled back here, but I'd rather go after this fresh enemy division or this fresh enemy cavalry on the other side of the river. They're going to get away without too much damage in the pursuit phase, I assume, given that we don't have any cavalry. Looks like we've got 10 minutes. I don't even think I'm going to get my men down there and in range in time. Or 40 minutes. Pursue the boys. Alright, it looks weird because I've got time compressed. So if we move back down to normal speed here, you'll see they're engaging the enemy in normal volley fire. Since when can our men not run down horses? Well, I don't know. Maybe they can. God, I thought this was going to be a disastrous defeat, and by the looks of it, the Rebs are getting chewed to pieces. They're trying to run away, and they're just falling like in the droves. Double bonus if they run the cavalry down. Well, the cavalry's just sitting in the woods here. I guess we could go engage this enemy artillery. That could prove a mistake, though. I have had I did lose the one battle I've lost so far in a previous campaign was, or actually no, it was P Ridge. The enemy cavalry or the enemy artillery, after I had already basically wrecked their infantry, I recklessly attacked enemy cavalry and artillery and got just trounced. As you can see here, we're down to about 21 minutes. 20 minutes, it's now saying, of fight time left. My troops are engaging the enemy artillery. I definitely want to wipe them out. It's probably better to just charge the artillery. Melee it rather than volley it. I don't want to eat canister fire, although we're dropping quite a few of them. It's hard to see through this tree. We haven't lost that many casualties. At least this brigade hasn't. Seagal did. Meanwhile, the enemy cavalry did dismount, so we're engaging them in volley fire. Vagon, you're just over there trying to make puns and jokes with everybody's names, aren't you? Alright, we'll just fast forward here. The janky-looking representation here. I wanted them to charge the artillery, but it seems like they just want to fire volleys into it. Oh shit, they broke. Now the battle's indecisive. They broke because I subjected them to canister fire at point-blank range. Still says indecisive. But I think the enemy still is committed to the retreat, so troops still poorly managed. You know. Victory! Your army is victorious. Anyway, it claims it's a victory. The enemy, it looks like they lost 1,500 infantry of their 4,400 infantry. They didn't lose any cavalry or any guns. We didn't lose any guns. We lost 568 men. You know, obviously our troops, 2 of our brigades were driven from the field, but in terms of actual casualties, the enemy lost 3 times our casualty. Yeah, I guess leave the artillery alone, especially if they're in woods and you're in the open, I suppose. That would be the lesson. I almost snatched a loss from the jaws of victory. Yeah, you're right. You're right. But in any event, it's a victory. What is this video from? Gettysburg? I mean, the videos, the reenactment footage could be from wherever. They partnered with, it's a minor federal victory there on the bottom. They partnered with Lionheart Filmworks, who does a lot of reenacting and film work. So, ooh, I think the captain of the artillery has become famous. But But yeah, they intermix like reenactment footage with the game. All right, everybody, that's going to do it for this episode of Grand Tactician, the Civil War. We won our battle against fairly even odds. It was a little bit touch and go at times, some positives, some negatives, but we fought that thing reasonably well. The AI seemed to fight it reasonably as well. They could have pushed a little bit stronger with their 2 brigades that flanked us successfully and came up and over the hill, but then didn't do a lot with that success. But in any event, I thought it was a pretty enjoyable battle. Let me know your thoughts, and we'll pick this campaign up next time in our next video. Until next time, this is the Historical Gamer saying once again, thank you very much for watching, and I'm out.